Hello, how are you?
This is Monday, October 14th, year of our Lord 2019, pre-algebra. Everybody's awake and excited. Yes, my man.
Fifth grade has Spanish today.
Fifth grade has Spanish today. Yes, seventh period. You know, it's seventh grade, right? Right now they have band.
I didn't know that. I thought they had it.
Remember, it's at the end of the day, buddy. Go Penguins.
Finally, we're from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, hockey. All right. You did the two-step on Friday. Really what you learned Friday wasn't anything new. It was just that you had to not do it once, but twice to isolate the variable, because when you have a letter mixed in there with your numbers, you're like, why is there a letter in my numbers? I want to know what X is. I want to know what Y is. So at the bottom, you get to the point where X or Y is something. Where's my eraser? All right, so I'll go over the answers here in a second after we do a quick survey and make sure everybody did their homework.
Okay.
Okay? Isaac, done?
Yeah.
It was page 121, 122, numbers 10 through 29. Noel, done?
Yep.
Done?
Yes.
Yeah.
Done?
Yeah.
Done? Done?
Done.
I did 10 through 20.
10 through 20. Psst. You didn't get done? You didn't get done. You don't even have to, I could tell.
Yeah.
Noah,
I wasn't here.
yes.
Si, senor. Yes.
You didn't get done, David?
Yeah.
137.
Were you trying to trick me? Give me the same look Preston did? All right, look, listen. We don't have to repeat it every day, but if you just do your homework, which, by the way, I think it's pretty safe to say that of all your teachers, you probably have less homework in pre-algebra than anywhere else. So why not get 100 at the end of the 9 weeks? You get a whole test grade for just doing your homework.
Really?
Yes. So we don't grade it whether it's right or wrong. Just do it, and then we go over it. And if there's something you got wrong, we figure it out. Then game day or test day comes, and yeah, that's test is. It's game day. It's when you show. It's when you show. It's time to perform, and then your grade shows up on the test. But you got to do the practice, right? You're not Allen Iverson talking about practice. Practice is important. All right. Yes, sir.
Are we gonna have another test before the 9 weeks are?
Why, are you desperate? You need another quiz? You're not going to have a test. There's only got 4 days.
There's a
Uh,
quiz on Wednesday.
I did put a quiz on Wednesday for those of you that are desperate. Okay. Remember this? Who remembers this little speech? 5th grade.
I remember it.
Oh, wait.
Teacher helped
I
you.
know it.
Oh, yeah.
In kindergarten, then when you're
Do it again.
Yeah.
you have to do 10% of the.
Yeah, when you're senior, it's like 9%.
Remember that speech, Jonathan?
Yeah.
See, Lauren, my 5th graders are like almost right in the middle of your education, and you're a little beyond that. So remember back in kindergarten when the teacher basically did almost everything for you,
Yeah.
almost like just about everything. You just had to follow. By the time you're ready to graduate, most of you will be 18 by the time you graduate. So you're like full-fledged adults ready to face the world, whether you go to college or whatever you do. You're responsible for you. So the teacher's still important. The teacher has to play a role, but you should be looking at it like, hey, I'm responsible for just about everything. But you're not right now. Mr. Franken doesn't come in and say, okay, here's your work, get it done, and I'll go do my work. No. But I can't, if I do this, am I helping you, Micah? Micah, if I sat here and gave you every answer, wouldn't that be great? Yeah, you just come to school, you get an A, I just give you all the, wouldn't that be great?
Yes.
Hopefully you're going to say no, Micah. Because now that you are a teenager, are you a teenager yet? Almost? Okay, you're either a teenager or real close to it. You're maturing to the point, I hope mentally and spiritually, where you're like, why are we coming to school if we're not really learning anything? So you still need me, but you're getting to the point where you're being more responsible for you. Right, Lorelai? Lorelai's like, oh, Miss Prankin, I've been beyond my 50% for a long time, right?
Really?
No?
No.
Yeah, I'm 100%.
All right, here we go. Number 10, the answer was 1.
Well, yeah.
Number 11, if you missed it, mark it. Please tell me that Ethan Tosh isn't missing any of these and then not asking if he doesn't understand why he missed it. Jordan, if you miss it and you don't understand why, you gotta ask, right? Number 11, the answer was 4. Number 12, the answer was 5. Number 13, the answer was 7. Number 14, the answer was 8. Number 15, oh no, the answer is not a whole number. What do I do now?
Work.
Like you don't know what fractions are or decimals. You could have written 0.25 or 1/4. The answer to 15 is 1/4. If you prefer decimal, 0.25. Number 16. Oh no, it's not a whole number. It's 4.5 or 4.5. Number 17, the answer was 3. Number 18. Oh no, it's -8. Negatives are integers too. Yes. You haven't got any of these right. Here's the thing, David. Guess what? Did you ever go to practice an instrument or a sport or anything, and when you first did it, you're like, I don't get this. Like maybe the coach or whatever, in music, you're learning a whole new thing, and you first do it, you have no idea. You ever been there? Okay. So when you first learn it, are you put out on stage to perform the song? No. Are you put in the game to do the skill? No. Not when you're first learning it. So the quiz or test isn't today. So here's the thing, David. So you got them all wrong so far? Guess what by the end of today? Hopefully, because as soon as you catch on, they can go from all wrong to all right as soon as you understand what's going on. You understand? That could happen. Number, where are we at? 18 was -8. Number 19, 9. Number 20, -6. Number 21, oh no, it's not a whole number, and it's negative. -1/2 or -0.5. And the story problem, number 22, final answer, 980 inches. You would do 81 times 12 plus 8. 81 times 12 plus 8. 81 feet, 8 inches. Got it? Number 23. Final answer was 2 2/3. Is that right? Yep. 2 2/3. 3 miles is an estimate. So 3H is an estimate for the number of miles of trail cleaned per hour. So the number of hours will also be an estimate about 2 2/3. Number 24, the answer was 3. Did you get that one right? No. Number 25, the answer was 7. Number 26, the answer was 1. Number 27, the answer was -1 2/3. Number 28, the answer was 81. And number 29, the answer was 40. Okay.
All right.
Now, I think I remember, at first I assigned through page 35, or number 35, and since I didn't, guess what? If you didn't do so hot on those, we're going to do right now 30 through 35 together and see, maybe we'll pick up on where you're going wrong. So just keep that paper out. Just add on to number 29. We're going to do 30 through 35 together right now. So keep going with the same homework paper you just had. 8 equals 5 plus m over 2. All right, if you're totally confident, you can get started. But if you're not, watch and listen. You can see and hear at the same time, right, David? So you're going to watch what I do, and you're going to listen to my words as I do it. Ready? Right now, I've got this M up here. In order for me to solve this equation, I want to solve for M. I want to know what M is. Why is there an M in my math problem? So at the bottom here, David, I'm not going to write it yet, but I want to know, what does M equal? And at this point, it doesn't matter to me if M's on the left or the right. Right? 2 equals 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1 equals 2. It doesn't matter which side they're on. All right, so first thing I'm going to do, David, is get this 5 out of there. There's a 5 over here with the M term, so I'm going to get rid of it. How do I get rid of this 5? It's a positive 5. How do I get rid of it? Subtract 5. Now, this is an equal sign. So I subtract 5 here, and I subtract 5 here. What's going to be my new equation? So you just had an aha moment. You went like this when I said I got to subtract 5 here. So all you've maybe done this whole time with all those ones yesterday or Friday is you forgot whenever you do the one side of an equal sign, you got to, is that really what it was? That might, see? Everybody listening? He went from getting them all wrong to, uh-oh, he might now get them all because he forgot that one thing, to subtract the same thing from both sides. So my new equation looks like this. 3 equals M, what's the fraction bar? Division sign. M divided by 2. How do I undo division, Noah? So I'm going to, if it's M divided by 2, I'm going to undo it by multiplying by 2. Now, why does that work? Watch. Remember your rules for multiplying fractions? So cancel, cancel, M over 1. So what's that leave me over here? Just M. What I did to that side, David, I must do to this side. So I got to multiply this by 2. What's 2 times 3?
6.
Am I right? 5 plus, what's 6 divided by 2?
3.
Is 8 5 plus 3?
Yes.
Bingo.
Can you do that over again?
I'm not going to do this one over again only because I'm going to do number 31. I'm going to do number 31 and you keep engaging. You understand what I'm saying? Because if I do that one over, then I won't get through 35. Keep engaging your mind and we'll keep the process going to 31, okay, Kara? Hope that didn't sound mean. I will do it on this side now because now I'm going to do it over here. All right? Number 31. 3 plus t over 5 equals 14. I want to get down to where t equals something. What am I going to do? Seth, how do I get everything off the t? First thing I'm going to do is get rid of this 3. How? Subtract 3. Get rid of it. What must I do on this side of the equal sign if I subtracted 3 over there, Seth? Subtract 3. That leaves me with 11. And over here I have t over 5. I forgot to switch pens. What's the fraction bar? It's a division sign. Kira, right? How do I undo division? What's the opposite? So if I take anything and divide it by 5, and then multiply by 5, I'm back to where I started. You with me on that? Take the number 2. Listen to me. Take the number 2, or take the number 10. What's 10 divided by 5? Times 5. Back to 10. So if I take t and divide it by 5 and multiply it by 5, I'm back to t. If I take 20 and divide it by 5, 4. Then I multiply it by 5, and I'm back to 20. So if I take t, whatever it is, divide by 5, and then multiply by 5, I'm back to t. Whatever I do to one side of an equation, David, got to do to the other. T equals 55. Am I right? What's 55 divided by 5?
11.
What's 3 plus 11?
14.
I did it right. Number 32. 32 equals 17 plus d over 2. Again, how do I get rid of everything that's attached to the d? First, I gotta subtract how much, Preston? I gotta get rid of this 17. To both sides. What's my new equation look like? 15 equals d divided by 2. How do I get rid of the 2? Rachel? I undo division by multiplying by 2. That leaves me with just d. 15 times 2, 30. Am I right? What's 30 divided by 2?
15.
What's 17 plus 15?
32.
I did it right. Elise?
33.
Of course. I just did 30, 31, 32. Now I'm doing 33. 2 minus z equals 9. You know what I don't like? When they put a 2 and a z
I know.
in the same problem. Is that it? 2 minus z equals 9? Okay. How do I get rid of the 2? The 2 right now is attached to the z. It's a positive 2, so I...
-2. No.
Yes! Did you hear what he said? He said add -2, which is the same as subtract 2. Good job, Isaac. You said it actually the right way. Add -2. So you're going to subtract 2, or, Kara, subtract 2 is the same as adding -2. Does that blow your mind still?
Whoa.
Subtracting 2 is still adding -2. So I got rid of the 2, so I have just negative z. If I subtracted 2 on this side, I got to do it on this side. So now I got 7. Now, wait a minute. I don't want to know what negative z is. I want to know what z is. Does anybody got an idea what I should do to make this negative 1z a positive 1z? What could I multiply negative 1 by to get positive 1? Wait, I'm waiting for a few more light bulbs to go off. What can I multiply negative 1 by to get positive 1? There's only one answer. Negative 1 times something gives me positive 1. Waiting for more lights to go on, more hands to go up. Negative 1 times something gives me positive 1. There's only one answer. Negative 1 times something gives me positive 1. Sydney? No. Negative 1 times 1 is still negative 1. Negative 1 times something gives me positive 1. Kira?
2.
No. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Negative 1 times something gives me positive 1. Lorelai? Negative 1. So watch. Watch. Now I'm going to take negative 1z and multiply it by negative 1. That makes it positive z. Whatever I do to this side, I got to do to
The other side.
times negative 1. The answer is negative 7. This is number 33. Am I right? The checking might be just as difficult for you as the actual problem. If I put a negative 7 up here, this is what it would look like in the check. Ready? 2 minus negative 7 equals 9. Is that a true statement? 2, remember we don't actually subtract, we add the opposite. Bingo. It checks out. Z equals negative 7. David? Because you added 2 to both sides. So you got negative z. I don't know why you added 2. You saw the negative sign, you thought it was attached to the 2. No, it's attached to the z. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Number 34. 11 minus b equals 34. We're going to run into the same problem. So if you didn't understand 33, use what we just did. Apply. Did anybody already do 34? Because it would be hard to get done with 34 if you didn't understand 33. Because it's going to end up the same thing. 11 minus b equals 34. Same process. I got to go faster now because 9:44 already. I'm going to subtract 11 from both sides. Get rid of that guy. Now I got negative b equals 23. I don't want to know what negative b is. I want to know what b is. What's the opposite of negative 1b? Positive 1b. So I would multiply this by negative 1. Or, what's the opposite of negative b? Positive b. What's the opposite of 23? Negative 23.
I got that one right.
Sweet. So I got 11 minus the opposite of 23, which is actually 11 plus 23, equals 34. To check it, I go like this. 11 minus negative 23 equals 34. Is that a true statement?
Yes.
We add the opposite. 34. Yes, sir.
I don't understand.
Okay, I'm going to start again. You tell me where you don't understand. Ready? Do you understand I got to get rid of the 11? So you understand negative b equals 23. You sure? Okay. David, how do I find the opposite of a number? I multiply it by negative 1. Think about it.
So you multiply negative b and
What's in front of this b? What number? There's nothing there, but what is it? So how do I make a negative 1 a positive 1? I multiply it by negative 1, so I got to multiply this side by negative 23. So positive b equals negative 23. Because I multiplied both sides by negative 1. That's all. I just made them both opposite. What's the opposite of negative b? Positive b. What's the opposite of positive 23? Negative 23. Yes, sir. That was number 34. And the last one, number 35. C over 3 minus 7 equals 1. Boy, why do I pick this one? C over 3 minus 7 equals what? 1?
Yeah.
Okay. How do I get rid of the 7? Right now it's minus 7, so Lauren, I'm going to add 7. C over 3 equals 8. How do I get rid of the 3? Right now it's C divided by 3. I'm going to multiply by 3. Leaves me with just C. Same thing to both sides. 24. What's 24 over 3? 8. What's 8 minus 7?
1.
Got it. I did it right. Can I hear an amen if it's much clearer today than it was Friday?
Amen.
Oh boy, that wasn't a very big chorus.
Amen. It was pretty clear.
Listen, dear Kiera, I'm writing this letter to you to try to help you with your, to have a positive attitude about your abilities and your relationship with math. If you keep telling yourself, dear, that it's hard and it's confusing and it's difficult, it's going to be hard to overcome that obstacle. You tell yourself, I can do this, be positive, and break down that negative wall, and you'll be flying in no time. Yes, Noah?
For 34 and 33,
Yeah.
how do we know it? Like, how come it's just not 11 minus b? How come it's 11 and then negative b?
Because 11 minus b is 11 plus negative b.
Oh.
Because remember, you never actually subtract, you add the opposite.
Yeah.
All right, you ready to move on? I think we are, we got to.
Yeah.
Okay, now that you've learned how to solve two-step equations, now we're going to dig into, basically we're going to translate English into algebra. We're going to look at something they tell us in a word from, with a phrase in English, and we're going to, what does that look like as an algebraic expression? Are you ready? You want to do the examples or dive right in? I like that idea too. Let's go to the bottom of page 124. Focus here. The quicker you focus, the quicker we can get done and get to work. Bottom of page 24, number 1. Down at the bottom it says your turn now. You're going to translate. You're going to write the equation this time. Here you were solving the equations. Now you're actually writing it. Kira, are you like me right now thinking, what? I can't do, what? He expects me to be able to do this right now?
Yes.
Do I expect you to get it the first time? Actually, no. That'd be amazing. All right, ready? It costs the zoo $1,150 per year to feed its Aldabra tortoises. With inflation in the last 14 years, it probably costs a little more than that. Each additional tortoise will cost $575 per year to feed. The zoo's budget for the tortoises' food next year is $2,875. Write and solve an equation to find out how many new tortoises the zoo can buy. Some of you are reading that with me, some of you aren't. If you were just listening, you have no idea what I'm talking about. If you were reading it as I was reading it, you're trying to process it to get an idea of what it's talking about. So we're going to do it again. Ready, Case? Here's the information that we know. Next year, the zoo's budget allows for me, the tortoise keeper, $2,875 to feed the tortoises. You with me? Every tortoise that I bring to the zoo is going to cost $575 to feed. I already spend $1,150 on tortoise food. Every tortoise I bring in is going to cost an additional $575. How much do I have to spend total? $2,875. I'm going to erase this while you process that and see if what I write on the board makes sense to you. I'm going to say it again. I have right now $1,150. Every tortoise I bring is going to cost me another, you say it, $575. The total I have to spend at the end is $2,875. I'm almost done erasing. Hopefully you're processing this and you've got an answer formulated in your brain. What's the total I need to get to? $2,875. What am I starting with? $1,150. I'm already spending that much. Am I going to add to that total with each tortoise I bring in, or am I going to take away from that total with each tortoise I come in? Let me start again. How much money am I already spending? Am I adding to that total or subtracting from it?
Adding.
One small step at a time. How much am I adding? First of all, there's something I don't know. I don't know how many tortoises I can get. So is it okay if I write this little phrase up here? Let T equal number of tortoises.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I'm going to let T equal the number of tortoises I can bring in. So I'm going to add to the 1150. How much for each tortoise? Watch this. Times T. Times the number I bring. Each one I bring costs $575. What's my total? 2875. You have just written, if you wrote that down, you have just written your first algebraic equation yourself. You write it down.
I did it.
Bottom of page, what is that?
124.
124?
Let me make it look nicer.
Write this down. Take a little note. That's for the Schmines, at least they know that song. All right? I mean, you've heard enough George Strait in your life to know that song. Look, you started with 1150. That's what they told us. They told us each of these T's is going to cost $575. They told us we got $28.75 to spend. Oh, by the way, little side note. Unfortunately, this is the way government works, and that's why we're $20 trillion in debt. When they give you a budget and they say you have this much to spend, you know what you do? You spend that much. Because if you don't spend that much, you know what they'll do next year when they make the budget? They'll say, oh, you don't need that much. Okay, we can cut spending. So you know what happens in our government? They give them a budget to spend that much, so they make sure they spend it. And then the next year they say, you know, things cost a little more every year, right? So if we need this much this year, we need more next year. And then we need more the next year. And then we need more the next year. And then we need... So year after year after year, think about it. Everybody that has a government project job says we need this much money. So the next year we need more money. And then next year we need more money. And guess what happens if you don't spend it? Then the people making the budget say, oh, you didn't need that much? Okay, good. We can cut that out. And next thing you know, we're billions of dollars in debt, $1 trillion in debt, $3 trillion in debt, $10 trillion in debt, $15 trillion in debt, $20 trillion in debt. Isn't that amazing how it works? So the zookeeper's like, if I don't spend the money, they're going to think we don't need the money. Hey, I got this. Do you have to spend it just because you're allowed to spend it?
No.
It's a good personal thing, too. Just because you have that much money to spend, you shouldn't spend it all, Rachel. Save. Yes?
Could you also figure out how many tortoises you already had?
Yeah.
Making the problem like that, like.
Let's stay with this right here.
Division.
All right, look. Everybody understand why I set it up like this? Yeah, we can figure it out, right? You had two already, right? Everybody understand this?
Yeah.
I start with 1150. How many more tortoises? Each one costs $575 to get me to $875. What am I going to do to solve this equation now? I wrote it, now I got to solve it. Micah.
You're gonna subtract 1,100.
Subtract 1150. That leaves me with 575t equals subtract 1150. What's that leave me with over here?
1,725.
1725?
Yeah.
How do I get rid of the 575? Come on, Jonathan. How do I get rid of the 575?
You divide.
Divide by 575. Both sides?
Yeah.
Got to. Right, David?
Yeah, equals.
I'm just eyeballing it. And it's the first one. They're probably not going to give us an answer that has a fraction in it. I believe the answer is going to be 3. T equals 3. The zookeeper, the person that takes care of the tortoises, can bring 3 tortoises to the zoo for you to enjoy. Number 2 and 3 on page 125. Listen to this English statement. Ready? Zacchaeus, stay with me. The difference of 6 times a number and 9 is -3. We're going to translate that into algebra. Ready? Let's read it again. The difference of 6 times a number and 9 is -3. First thing Cameron's thinking is, when they use the word difference, what operation is she thinking she's going to use? Subtraction. So I know I'm going to subtract something. Listen, ready? Brett, the difference of 6 times a number. Is it okay if I use X for that unknown number? Okay? So I'm thinking X is going to be the unknown number. The difference of 6 times that number. How would I write 6 times that number? 6x. What am I going to do if they're asking for the difference? Subtract. The difference of 6 times the number and 9, what do you think I'm going to put for the word is? An equal sign. Stop right there. This is number 2 on page 125. Kira. That's the equation that we should be able to write from that English statement there. The difference of 6 times a number. Let's take it real slow. The difference of 6 times a number. What number? I don't know yet. 6 times it, though, is written like that. Is -3. How would Spencer solve it? Spencer would say, they subtracted 9. I'm going to add 9. Now I got 6x equals, what's this plus 9? 6. What's x going to equal? 1. There is number 2 on page 125. The difference between 6 times a number and 9 is -3. Why did I add 9, Dina? Got to get rid of the -9. Why did I add 9 over here? Got to do the same thing to both sides. What's positive 9 and -3? Positive 6. How did I get x equals 1? What did I do? Divided by 6. 1. X is 1.
I thought that was the check.
6 minus 9, -3. Your only homework is number 3 on page 125. You just got to do number 3 on page 125. That's it. Translate that statement to algebra. And then tomorrow, we got to pick up the pace. Thank you for your patient listening, learning, I hope. I took the whole time up here instructing, but now that we've done that today, the expectation is tomorrow we come in. If you didn't understand number 3, we do that again on the board, you get it, and then you start racing on your own like, hey, I could translate into algebra ease. See you tomorrow. Same bat time. Same bat channel.